Hi guys, yes, Andy again, still here with the wonderful Kelly. Kelly has just thrown a spanner in the works today because she just told me something in between before we got started recording a project, something I didn't know anything about. So I knew, Kelly, you've had a publication really, your first publication for Finn Hall, haven't you? Where he's joined up writing. Tell us about that first of all, and then we'll go on to the other thing. So it can be a three-part this interview today, guys. Tell us what joined up writing first of all, Kelly.
Yeah, I've got the book here, and it's the amazing Finn Hall that we spoke about earlier. He's got so many wonderful poetry, projects on the go. But joined up writing, this is the third of a series of three, so it's the last one. And his concept was to sort of unite all the poets in our beautiful community and come up with a story where we're finishing or starting at the last line of the last piece and then working from there. And honestly, the poetry in this one is just phenomenal. And it's such a pleasure to share space with so many talented poets. It really is a dream come true. And that's all thanks to Finn Hall.
Yeah, I'm in that book as well. It's great fun.
Yeah.
I had some fun with that one, Kelly. I'll tell you my story about it. I was in the first one as well. And Amanda followed me on the first one. And I left her with an absolute stinker of her last line on purpose. And she was, I remember that, she sat there swearing at me.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's love for you, definitely. So now, the other thing that you didn't tell me about in the first half, and I didn't know about this, was you're writing for an occult magazine at the moment, aren't you, as well?
Yes. So I write for Witch Magazine, which is an online magazine, but we do physical copies throughout the year as well for, pagan holidays. But primarily, I look at the history of the occult and esotericism. So the occult, I was going to say muggles there, but a lot of people will think of the occult and immediately think demons and really dark things. But, historically, the occult just means the things that are hidden. And when you look into these occult practices, they're really good ways of coming into self-mastery. And I really love looking at the history of esotericism, the history of angel magic and all this different sorts of facets of the occult that you can look into, because the occult really is just like a diamond, and it doesn't matter which path you follow because you all come to the same conclusion anyway. There's a beautiful book called The Secret Doctrine by a lady called Helena Blavatsky, and she was around in the 1800s, and she deduced by speaking to a lot of spiritual masters that organized religion really is all the same thing with the same story, that the story of this life is ascending to the stars as one. And that we really are droplets of God consciousness condensed into physical form. So the articles that I write really are looking at those types of historical studies and really bringing them into the modern era and how we as modern people can really use these practices and adapt them for our own lives.
Brilliant, yeah. Now, how did you get into writing for this magazine in the first place?
It was another chance.
This is your life, isn't it? I know it's like full of chances.
That's what happens when you practice witchcraft. Things just happen, I'm joking. But I was literally just scrolling through Instagram, and I saw a call for new writers. And in a tarot reading my mum had given me 2 years prior, she'd said to me, there's just going to be this opportunity and you're going to feel like you can't do it, but you need to jump on it. Because at the time, when my mum gave me that reading, I wasn't even practicing or writing. So when I saw this call for writers, I knew that I needed to apply, and instantly my editor was like, yes. And then, we just sort of grew from there, and I just love it. It's so fascinating, and you meet really amazing people as well. But I do think people think I'm a devil worshipper, but it's so much more than that,
I'm going to say nothing, right? So, no, but have you found as you started doing it as with your poetry? Because I don't think you've not done this sort of thing before, have you? Magazine writing, so. How's your approach changed in this, how you've been writing?
I think in my earlier articles, I really was sort of just trying to find my feet and giving sort of like a diary style, how I don't even practice witchcraft anymore, really. It's ceremonial magic or high magic that I practice, which is very different because in witchcraft, you're harnessing natural forces to get what you want. But in high magic, it's inner alchemy. It's losing attachments to the external world and finding peace within, really. So earlier on, it was sort of very experience-based. And then as soon as I started looking into different facets of the occult, I knew that I really wanted to start writing about that and trying to explain complicated spiritual concepts in a way that a lot of people would understand. It's not just, because I hate that thing about the occult that it's hierarchical. And I actually did a year in a secret society. Right?
Wow.
Yeah, I did the first year, and I just kind of felt like, well, yeah, that guy's been in here 20 years, but why does he deserve to know more than me just because he's done 20 years? I didn't like the hierarchical, if you stick with this, the knowledge will come. But I eventually realized the knowledge all lies in the stars anyway. So if you nail astrology, you can kind of get everything else anyway. That sounds really overconfident, but that's been my experience,
Brilliant. Great stuff, Kelly. Right, we'll wrap up this part now, unless you've got something else you've not told me about.
I think, yeah.
You've not going to walk the Himalayas or something, have you, as well, or jumped off Ben Nevis? Jumped off Ben Nevis and wings in your back or something, have you?
Promise, no.
Right, we'll see you in a minute, guys. Okay, definitely. See you. Thanks again, Kelly. See you in a minute.